Just a quick question before we start today's video. On a scale 1 to 10, how much trust and faith do you have in the team behind Marvel's Avengers for basically the game's future over the next 12 months? I want you guys to be brutally honest in the comments below. Don't overthink it, just think of the first number that really comes to your mind. For me, I'm sitting at around a solid 7.5, just simply because I know what they're capable of, but then equally I know that it's not really their final decision. It's always the big guys that make that last call, right? And with what happened recently, I think that's a big, really good example in fact. So let me know in the comments below, but this Friday is going to be huge for the Spider-Man DLC, so let me explain why and let me tell you guys what's going to be revealed. But before I do that, we got a cool sponsor and it's going to save you a ton of money for video games because it's Aniba.com. Let's roll the ad and then we'll continue into the video. So today's video is sponsored by Aniba.com, which is a brand new gaming marketplace with over 20,000 digital products. They'll bring you the hottest deals in the market of any title, new or old, and they have an absolutely incredible Trustpilot score. So you can be rest assured you're going to get your stuff on time and your gaming will continue without a hitch, and they even offer a 24/7 live support, which is just an absolute lifesaver. Now, it's a great place to buy games for not just your PlayStation 4, Xbox or PC, but you can even get things like your PSN cards or your Xbox cards and a bunch more, just like the Amazon gift cards, etc. It's a great place to go ahead and check out, and you can use my code SUPERREBEL to get a 3% discount on your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Visit Aniba.com with the link in the description below. Okay, so this Friday is technically going to be our official first in-game look at Spider-Man in Marvel's Avengers. Now, if you checked out the previous video, you guys will know that we had our first ever in-game look at Spider-Man's DLC character when it comes down to the logo that this character is going to have, right down to the UI in general, right? And it did look really cool, and a lot of people first of all were questioning the fact, and you're probably seeing it in the background right now, why on earth is there basically the Xbox controls right now? I know that is probably going to be one of the worst things you could have possibly done, because we know unfortunately it is an exclusive, but to kind of I guess just break down that myth, it's not unfortunately coming to Xbox. I'm assuming they were just testing it and it was basically an Xbox control hooked up to the PC, and that's exactly why you see the Xbox buttons as opposed to the PlayStation buttons. Was that done intentionally? I have no idea, but I can see where the confusion basically kind of arises. But with that being said, let's break down what is going on. So Andy Wong, who is the community manager for, of course, Marvel's Avengers, went ahead and put out this tweet that says, sorts through Spider-Man outfit screenshots for Friday. So that's big within itself. That's literally, as when I'm making this video right now, 3 days away. We know that Spider-Man's DLC is going to drop on the 30th of November, and hey, guess what? We don't even have a trailer for this character. So with that being said, are we just getting screenshots for this Friday, or are we going to be getting a trailer as well, basically just introducing the character? Because that's exactly what we have not had, which is pretty crazy considering the time frame. Now, Andy did go ahead and respond to a comment that basically asked, will we get to see any of the movesets and animations this Friday, just like you did for Black Panther? And Andy's response to that was no, not this Friday, but before he launches. So again, just taking that stuff into account, if it's coming on November the 30th, it's not going to be this Friday, which is the 12th. That means it's either going to be the 19th, which is the following Friday, or the 26th. But again, I don't really know what day it is going to be, but it's more than likely going to be on a Friday anyway. With that, I guess, taken into account, what is happening this Friday? Is it going to be the MCU suits as well? I'm kind of going to put all my eggs in one basket on that end and say probably more than likely, because they want to go ahead and drive hype to this DLC. But it really is one of those things where when I done a post actually in my community tab asking you guys as well, what do you think of that first in-game look right on Spider-Man, and the gist I guess you pretty much get from the character slight reveal. What do you guys think about it? And I know a lot of you guys literally said it means absolutely nothing until we see some gameplay, and I completely agree with you guys. But one thing we do know is that the combat team, I guess people working on combat in general for this game, is really cool. So it's always flawless. To date, we haven't had a character that has bad combat, and if anything, we can all agree that's the only thing that really kept this game alive. If it had terrible gameplay combat, then I can tell you for a fact it would have been done a long time ago. But I think it's a prime example that this shows that, again, it still grabs our attention, right? Even when we say, okay, well, we're bored of Marvel's Avengers and we don't want to play it anymore because there's no reason to. And then you see this and you get excited again because you know what the game can still be. And it's the only game that offers this right now. We have no other video game to turn to that basically gives us the exact same thing. So that's ultimately why I asked you guys at the start of this video, where do you stand in terms of your faith in the future for this game and your trust with the devs? And that's why I said I'm pretty much at a 7.5, because I know what they're capable of and I know what can be done. But really my question is, okay, well, after this DLC, what has genuinely happened with the game in terms of what is the next character that needs to be announced in a short time period that's really going to grab my attention again as a consumer to get excited for the game and want to boot it up, as opposed to waiting, I don't know, like 7 months or 8 months down the line for the character that I actually want. But hey, guess what? There's another character coming in like January or February, but it's just a character that nobody really cares for. A really good example of that would have been the situation when Kate Bishop was revealed. That was a crucial time for the game, and it just completely went south. So hey, let's hope that doesn't happen again. But like I said, I want to hear your thoughts on this stuff in the comment section below. We probably are going to be in that situation where we're going to be driving a lot of MCU skins to this character. He's definitely going to be favored. Of course, it's tying into the movie as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on, I guess you could say, for like a cross event ultimately. And it comes down to a situation on, well, we have our expectations, but it still comes down to the fact on we know all the DLCs are going to be really good and interesting, but do we get bored as a consumer eventually? And the answer to that question is absolutely 100%. But get in the comments below, talk to me, how do you guys feel about this stuff? And that is going to wrap up this video here. Now, for anyone that wants to stay at this point, it's not really going to be Marvel's Avengers related, it's just a quick, I guess, update on what's going on with content. So if you care for that stuff, I guess stay for the next minute. If you don't, then adios amigo. Thank you for tuning in to today's video. Now, for you guys who want to actually just hear what I'm going to say about the content, of course I made a video the other day talking about stepping down, and that is ultimately still something that's going on with the channel. But just to give you an update, content like this will still remain, but the ultimate goal of still expanding into more Marvel content is still going on behind the scenes. But rest assured, as long as you like this structure, then you're going to be absolutely fine, because I'm still going to be making content like this when it's something that I'm really excited for. So hey, that's that in a nutshell. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.